When it came to racking up #1 hits, few could compete with the Beatles. They dominated the charts on both sides of the Atlantic, but in 1964, one song didn't just make them famous, it rewrote the very DNA of rock. Released in November 1963, I Want to Hold Your Hand exploded onto the British charts before storming across the ocean to conquer America in February 1964. It became their first US #1, sparked the British invasion, and slammed the door shut on the old era of rock and roll. The song wasn't born by accident. Manager Brian Epstein had challenged John Lennon and Paul McCartney to create a track powerful enough to finally crack the American market. Despite being unstoppable in the UK, their earlier releases had failed to make a dent overseas, and with a US tour approaching, the pressure was immense. Determined to deliver, Lennon and McCartney secluded themselves in the basement of McCartney's girlfriend Jane Asher's family home. Sitting knee to knee, just like in their teenage songwriting days, they toyed with melodies until one magical chord change struck. A lightning bolt moment that Lennon later described as spine-tingling. McCartney recalled how Epstein's looming deadline turned the session into a sprint against time. What started as a casual jam quickly evolved into a finished song within hours. The next day, they carried their creation into the studio, laid down the track almost instantly, and unknowingly set off a cultural explosion. By the time I Want to Hold Your Hand climbed to #1 in America, the Beatles were already flying across the Atlantic. On February 9, 1964, they appeared on The Ed Sullivan Show before a staggering 73 million viewers, an event that didn't just introduce them to America, but made them legends overnight. The single ruled the Billboard Hot 100 for 7 straight weeks before being dethroned by their own She Loves You. It was more than a hit. It was proof that the Beatles weren't just visiting, they were here to take over. Yet the song's influence stretched far beyond the charts. It redefined what rock music could sound like. The American Idols. The Beatles once admired were suddenly looking up to them. Bob Dylan noted that the song's chord structure was strikingly unconventional, and its layered harmonies hinted that rock was evolving into something new. Brian Wilson of the Beach Boys admitted he felt shaken when he first heard it. The melodies were too fresh, too perfect, too revolutionary to ignore. Even in his envy, he recognized that the Beatles had raised the bar for everyone. I Want to Hold Your Hand wasn't merely a pop success, it was a seismic shift. It crowned the Beatles as the new rulers of rock, turning them from British sensations into global pioneers. From that moment on, rock music would never sound the same. It could be richer, riskier, more imaginative. And 1964 would forever be remembered as the year 4 young men from Liverpool didn't just change the charts. They changed the course of music history.